season with Jamal kind of being that goal line threat for you guys. I guess the last 3 games, you guys have gotten the touchdown. How have you worked for him? Has his confidence changed? Has anything changed the way they play him, or how have you guys worked to try to get him back on track a little bit?
Yeah, his confidence hasn't changed. Jamal is the same every day. Just continue to work through, making sure we hit the hole as backs, make sure we see the hole, and that has a lot to do with the scheme and how we put things together.
I asked you about Jamal back in November, just about the workload, and you said we'll see how it develops as the season goes on, how he responds. I think since then he hasn't averaged more than 4 yards a carry in a game. He's a little bit of a rut here in December. So how do you think maybe the workload has played into that, or is there no impact in that regard?
Yeah, no impact. Workload has nothing to do with it. We just got to be more efficient. That's running backs, O-line, that's everybody, coaches. We just got to be more efficient to make sure we put our guys in the right place.
We know the running game it's everybody, right? It's tight ends, it's receivers, it's offensive line. Specifically for your guys, what do your guys need to be doing better to get this thing in track in the running back room?
Yeah, we got to continue to be special as running backs, and I say it every time we have a meeting. One person can't tackle us, no matter if we're stiff-arming, using our weapon, no matter if we're making a miss or running them over. We got to make sure that we handle that part of it. Offensive line, they're responsible for getting you 4 yards, 5 yards. You got to get another 3 yards. That's how we see it. And just continue to do the same thing every day.
What has Justin shown you to kind of emerge as that number 3 guy for you? It seems like he's been able to make some plays over the last 2 months especially.
Yeah, he's been a Swiss Army knife, man. He has. You can throw him in there on screens. You can throw him in there on protections. He knows the playbook, has good vision. He's able to run the zone real well, inside or out. He does it all.
Even though it happened against you, can you take any appreciation what the Panthers were able to do on the ground? And even though it's the game that you just played in, is there something you can glean from what they were able to do to help the Lions' running attack?
They had a good day. They were able to take advantage of some things, as you saw. They ran the ball well.
We know DeAndre's been dealing with some injuries pretty much all year. Is he at a point, Duce, where he's pretty healthy now? Is this the healthiest he's been in a while for this stretch run? Is he still kind of battling through some things?
Yeah, I think he's battling through some things along with the other 60 players. All of them are kind of battling through some things. And that's where we are right now at this point in the season. And I remember telling the running backs, when you come in from training camp, you go way back to training camp, the first day you report is going to be the healthiest for you. After that, man, everything will start to hurt, even your eyelids.
Talking to DeAndre, he doesn't want to make an issue of his injuries. He's very conscientious of that.
Say that again?
He doesn't want to make an issue of his being banged up. He's very conscientious of how that looks behind the scenes. How has he handled it mentally? Just he had such high expectations for himself, the 1,000 we talked about. He's not performed, I think, the way he had hoped going into the season. So how has he handled just that aspect of it mentally?
Just learning and growing. Still a young player, what you got to remember. And being able to deal with a couple things as he's dealt with the injuries, being able to fight through them, getting out there on the field, knowing you're not 100%, knowing you may be 80, 70%, and then you still can be productive. You go through some things, and you got to find a way. And special players do, and he has.
We talked about it before, right? You challenged him to be tougher and play through things. How have you, I guess, what pride level do you take in how he's approached this season and how he's battled through his stuff?
Yeah, I don't take anything. That's inside of DeAndre. That's Swift. That's who he is. It's my job just to continue to get it out of him, and I will. And he's shown that, One thing about football is so many life lessons that are in football, and you continue to point them out. And one of the things we all know is, it's tough times. We all have faced tough times. And sometimes that road is a little hilly, a little windy. You may have potholes. It may be, a dirt road. But the most important thing is stay on the road, because smooth road is coming. So, and that's the focus in our room. Never get off the road, man. Stay focused.
If you could break a couple of runs, how does that help your backs going forward? And how does it change maybe how your opponent is playing?
It helps the team. helps the team offensively, defensively, especially. I mean, being able to get out there and get some explosive in the run game, we hang our hat on that. And that's what we got to do as backs. And I challenge them, man. Break tackles no matter what. No matter if you're running somebody over, like I said, not to be redundant, but stiff arming, using your weapon, running them over, making them miss. Whatever it takes to do it, that's what we have to do.
No, it's not your room, but just curious about the offensive line in particular, and Frank getting, some
Right, congrats,
recognition
man.
there.
It's awesome, right?
And just what those guys have meant really all year for your room, and Frank in particular.
Frank has been awesome, man. The whole O-line has been awesome. And I tip my hat to those guys. Those guys are working hard. You're talking about injuries, man. You're talking about fighting through some things. Getting out there, and you see these guys, what they go through each and every week, to get out there Wednesday, to get it going again. Being a part of it, seeing it, so I know what it looks like. And those guys, man, it's a lot of pride in that room. And that's what you want when you got a good group like you have. So just to see Frank, get that, be, one of the players in the Pro Bowl, be a starter or whatever, says a lot.
Craig's been active for a couple weeks now.
Say Craig?
Craig,
Yeah.
yeah. Just hasn't been able to crack the game day roster. Is that just a numbers game with Justin doing the things he's doing and doing them well?
Yeah, I know, you've seen it, you've been around it, you probably wrote about it. Next man up. And sometimes that next man up, man, it's hard to replace him. It's hard to go out, especially if he's doing well. You call a spade a spade. Next man up, he goes out there and he have some production, special teams, offense, defense, no matter what it is. It's hard to say, all right, man, you come on off the field, and unless you're one of those super dynamic players.